Today we're taking a look at this motorized one-touch button sunroof shade for Tesla Model Y. This is the most fitted and most OEM looking sunroof shade we have ever had in the channel. And even though it is motorized, I found the installation to be a lot easier than the manual ones we had reviewed in the channel. Super good looking, very useful device for especially the summer heat that we are approaching, and we're going to do some testing on how much heat reduction it does, but this is super nice and really excited to show you this product. This product was sent to us free of charge by TL Yard to review in our channel today, and TL Yard has a large selection of Tesla accessories. Got a lot of very unique products like the ventilated seats that we reviewed last year, bunch of fridges and refrigerators. They have got a really nice product selection, and this is the product that we are reviewing today. So as you see, it is $739. It's a little bit on the higher end, but let me show you how you can knock that price down a little bit. They have got a pretty big sale going on right now. So if we were to put this add to cart, and if we go to cart here, view cart, and right here on the coupon code, if you put Shiva Tesla, so let's go Shiva Tesla and hit enter, you'll see that knocked down quite a bit. So $200 off right now, bringing the total to $540. So that's a pretty big discount code. So if you are planning on checking this out, now might be a great time because there's a huge discount code there. I know it is still on the higher end, not gonna lie, this is not a chump change, but compared to some of the manual ones, this is an awesome accessory for what they are offering the price for. So I'm gonna let you be the judge if it is worth it or not. So this is the package, and as you can see, this is a giant packaging because this is a full roof for the back. So it is of course going to have a large footprint, and if you have two people, that the installation goes faster, but I think you should be able to do it if you just have one person doing this. It comes with everything intact basically. There's just gonna be some brackets in the front, the motor sits in the back. So here is the first part of the wiring. This is the one that plugs in the outlet in the back. So essentially what they're saying is take this, find this plug, and simply plug this in. So you could do that, but since you plug this in, that plug is gonna be unusable for everything else. So they actually send you a splitter. So what we are gonna do is plug this in, then we'll have two spares. So one, we're gonna plug this, the motorized sunshade plug, and then the other one is a spare for you to use. So that's what we're gonna do, is just plug this into this port here in the back, and once this is plugged in, we are gonna plug in the sunshade, and then the other one is the spare for you. So for testing purposes, I have this horizontally lined. The buttons are on the other side, but I want this to be closer with the motor. So the wire from the motor, if you look at it, is coming from the bottom, and it is going right here. And this is the wire that we got from that 12-volt outlet. And all we have to do is align this two together. So we have got this going here, and just push this in. So this clicks into its place. Now this is powered, so we should be able to just press the button and control this. Let's try it. All right, so this is fully powered. Now we're going to align this here and simply press the button, and we see the result. It's coming through. I want this to come out fully. Now let's begin with the rear wiring here, and to hide the wiring as much as possible, I am going to simply pass it through this opening here. So I'm going to pass this up, but that requires us to remove this panel, which is not a problem. We just have to undo this weather stripping just a little bit. There's some glue here, just be careful with it. Now we are able to pop this panel out, and we'll be able to see that wire that we passed through. This glue is pretty nasty. It is sticky, so just be careful when you remove the weather stripping. Once you fish this wire, what we're gonna do is actually pass it through this gap and route it all the way so that we can leave it somewhere here, and we're going to bring the wire from the motor, pass it through the headliner from underneath there, so both of those will be connected. Now before we bring in the sunshade, and it might get on our way, let's install the front bracket. You get two of this bracket with this cloth thing facing towards the glass here, and all you have to do is simply slide this in. So we're just going to slide this in. Let me zoom out a little bit. So this is what you do, is simply slide this in, and you can just let it hold here. It's pretty strong. The next thing we're gonna do is do the exact same thing, but on the other side. So essentially just leave it there. So we're not gonna do anything with it. Just leave both of those brackets intact there, and we're gonna bring in the sunshade. Next thing you're gonna do is, because they send you a fishing wire here, we're going to run the fishing wire so it would be easier for us later on. And to run the fishing wire, you can just prop this out, and there are some clips that come out, and if you look at it, you can see the other side from here. So we're just going to be routing the fishing wire from here and take it on the other side. Okay, you can also route the wire from the back to the front if you just pull this out, and just be careful while doing that because some of the clips fell out. There are just some plastic clips like this that fell out. Now I'm going to be putting those in, and it's not the end of the world. It just now adds more work for you, so be careful while you pull this. But we're going to put this up and then install that plastic clip there. But this did allow me to just bring the wire all the way to the front. So in this next step, I am actually going to be passing this entire column towards the front. So here you gotta be a little bit careful because it may not fit exactly. So I have this folded really well, but still, as you can see, it's not going in. So there you go. We made it through. So it might take you a little bit of time. And then on the front, you should probably rest it on the seat. So let me show you how to do that next. So here we can then pull this through and put it on top of the seat here, the headliner, and make it ready so we can push the back in just somewhere right here. So next thing we're gonna do is actually connect this wire, because we ran it earlier all the way to the front, and we are going to hide this wire inside this headliner here. So we can just pass this through, but that just gives us enough time to be able to do this. And next step just involves us lifting this and actually putting it in the headliner for the back. So the back goes first. So if you look at it, the back is going to align here, and we are going to push it in first. So you're looking at it upside down, and what I did was, if I pull this out, if you look at all these brackets that are underneath there, this is in the back. I just push it in, and when you push it in, the headliner piece here is pretty strong and it holds it into its place. So this is good to go. Now we just need to install in the front, but the back is fully installed. The front, there's some work to do. Now we are almost done with the install, just the front remaining. And remember the bracket that we put here earlier? Those brackets essentially go and align here, and then we're gonna put in a screw, a Phillips head screw that they sent. I am so glad that they made the design where we can reach from the top, because remember there was one design where you had to go from the bottom, and that was pain in the butt. So this one should be a little bit easier. So what we're gonna do is we need to feel the back with the screw hole here, and if you look at it, you'll see that hole that is down here. We need to align it with this bracket. So that is the goal, and we can just push this in, and we just need to align where that screw hole is. So as I said earlier, having another person definitely helps, because that person could push this up, and then that will be super aligned with the bracket. And you just take this and then take the screw, use the screwdriver, don't use a drill or anything. You don't want to strip that or over tighten it, and then just simply screw this in. I actually ended up moving to the back seat because I had a little bit more room and I could see it from the back seat. That might be a trick for you guys as well, because I tried from the front seat, but I could not see anything from the front here looking up. So from the back, I had a little bit better luck. So we are supposed to also put this Velcro here to hide this metal piece, and all you have to do is remove the adhesive backing from here, the 3M, and then align this and paste it here. So here we go. All of this metal piece is supposed to be hidden with this. And goes all the way through. So we can remove the rest of the backing here and put this all through. So if you look at it, you can't see the screws or any of that metal part because that covered it. So it looks more integrated there. All right, moment of truth. I'm gonna be so mad if this does not work, but of course it does. Oh, this is really cool. Really quiet and looks very flushed and integrated. I don't know what this is, but yeah, no, this is really nice actually. Looks very well integrated. Of course, I'm not sitting on the seat, like I have the seat folded, so I barely have any headroom here, but yeah, it's not saggy, it's very stretched. And now you can control how far you want it. So as soon as you let go, it'll just open it. It actually makes it look like we have a sunroof here, which is super nice. So this is what the button looks like. Very well integrated. It has the arrow and you just press and hold. It controls the moment. And if you just release it, it stops the sunroof shade in its track. So there is actually a hidden mode I didn't know about, and I just figured this out while I was playing with this, is if you press and hold and release, as expected, this stops. Press and hold, it stops. But if you just press it once, it actually goes all the way. It does not stop. You press it again, it stops. You press it again, and it goes. Press, it goes. But if you press and hold, then that becomes that anti-pinch design as well as the control of where you want this to sit, versus just a single press activates this, so you just let it go. It's a hands-free. Single press is a hands-free. Press and hold allows you to stop this at any time, but you can also stop it by just pressing on it. So super cool that they integrated that within the button, so it knows when you're pressing and holding versus it knows when you are just pressing single press. So the fit and finish of this is just exceptional. If you look at all the corners, all the edges there, it just fits really nicely with the headliner, and it looks very OEM, everything. This is super nice, and as I said, this is pretty tight. It's not sagging. Looks so nice, and it operates very, very well and very quick. Like, it's not something that is super slow. Look at it. It goes, and you're able to stop at any point. So I have left my car out in the sun for about an hour just so we can do some testing. We've got our infrared gun here. We're going to go inside and see what is happening with the sunshade versus no sunshade. So first, we are going to test the sunshade portion, so in the bottom, and then we're going to open the sunshade and then test the temperature there. So we are going to measure this portion first. So we are measuring somewhere 136 degrees here. Let's see if it changes here. So 137. So that is what height we have been measuring. That's pretty hot. Now let's open this and measure what would be if we just left it in this bare glass. 166 degrees. I mean, that is super hot, versus just having the sunset here was able to decrease the temperature by quite a bit. So that is a test that clearly tells you, and we could feel it, right? Inside, I could feel it, that this has absorbed a lot of heat and prevented the heat from going in. I mean, that is a huge difference. So 138 versus 165. All right, so another testing we're going to do is test the seat. So this part, that's not gonna matter because the sun is hitting from the front, but we are going to measure this part of the seat as well as the back, because if you look at it here, if we were to remove this, the sun does hit that directly. So this sunshade is preventing all of that sun's light from going in. So we're going to do before and after and let you know. So this is going to be the control one. So this is the with the sunshade. We are getting 109 right here on the seat. And then if we go over there, we are seeing 101 right there. Let's see what happens when we open this and then just leave it there, right? So the sun is going to be hitting. We're just going to do half of it. So right there, maybe there. So we can see the difference of what we can get in about 10 minutes or so. All right, time to go back in and check some temperatures. Hopefully this made a difference. We'll see. So right here, starting with this temperature, because we left this part on. Just remember, like, this is pure glass. There is no sunshade here. So we are reading 119 degrees here, 120 degrees. Now let's go and read right here. What is that? 111. So 111.7. If we go back and measure this here, 160 degrees direct glass, 136 degrees with the sunshade. So you would be feeling this versus with the sunshade, it blocks quite a bit. All right, let's talk about my verdict here. I can safely say that this is the best looking sunroof shade we have ever had in the channel, most OEM looking, and the best functioning sunroof shade as well. With some of the previous ones, the manual one, they did the job, but if you remember, I had complaints about the installation process where you had to tighten some of the rope and it was tedious process. Some of them require going like sliding the bracket in and then you had to find that screw from the bottom, and that was impossible and it was a difficult installation. Versus they figured it out with this one where the bracket actually goes from the top and you can use that screw from the top. They also hide all of that screw and metal using the Velcro. So the previous version kind of looked like they were the house window shades versus this one looked like a legit sunroof, a functional motorized sunroof on other cars. So it's really good that they figured it out. And as I said, even though this is motorized, the installation is much easier than the manual ones we had installed. So I give them credit for that. Kudos to this company for figuring all of that out. And because they did such a good job at all the panels and fit and finish, like this does not rattle or sag. This is there, tight, tucked in. We drove with it for quite some time, even going through potholes and everything, and they did an excellent job. No issues. So again, super good fit and finish, the aesthetics, must OEM looking, everything is really great with this. I also really like that they have this both where you press and hold and it stops, but then if you just press it once, it keeps going. So that allows you to stop this in its track, but also gives you the option if you just wanted to stop at a specific location and you just press and hold, it will do that. But again, it closes on its own as well. So the only thing I did not like about this whole process is that they are using the actual 12-volt outlet in the back instead of using a Y connector behind. That 12-volt outlet is powered by a typical 12-volt connector, and they could have just used a Y connector to split that and created a circuit in the back and just use that wire routing method. The exact same thing we did, but instead of going from the front of the port, they could have gone from the back. That way we wouldn't even know something is plugged in there because you are plugging into the wiring, not to the actual port. Now there is that adapter plugged in, and I'm thankful that they sent a splitter for the adapter so you always have that one port ready to go if you need it in the back. But I just wish they had used the wiring in the back instead of coming all the way to the front and plugged in. I think the installation would have been exactly the same, not too difficult because that's a super easy wiring, the Y splitter to connect to. So that's the only. So it is a bit lighter color compared to our headliner here. Maybe it is dirty, but it does match. If you look at it from a distance a little bit, it looks like the same color, but perhaps they should have gone with more of a creamy color than having this on the wider polar color. But the fit and finish, we gotta admit, this is so good. And of course the price. I think the price is in the higher end, but just keep in mind that this is motorized, it has electronic component to it, it is really well integrated and embedded. So I think there is a premium for that. I wish the price was lower, but right now they are having a big sale on their website. So if you're thinking about purchasing one of these, probably now would be a good time, and the discount code Shiva Tesla should knock out some of that cost for you all. This may be a stretch, but that's my job in the channel, to suggest new ideas. Perhaps an option where you have the roller in the very middle so that you can have independent control of the front and the back. So put a button in the back as well so that the rear passengers could also control it, where right now the only option that we don't have with this is that if the drivers and the front passenger wanted the sunroof shade but the rear passenger did not want it, we don't have that option with this now. I think if they figured it out where the roller is in the middle, like a Model 3, I know that is going to put a little bit of obstruction in the middle, like a partition, but it would also allow the rear passengers to independently control the sunroof shade. Also, if they can't do that, perhaps add a button for the rear passengers to control this as well, so that they can control the sunroof shade without the driver being involved. But this is where you all come in. Your voice is so powerful in this forum, in this community, and whatever you want to see in the future design of this product or any other product, if you please let me know in the comment section below. TLER is monitoring this comment section. All the Tesla accessory companies that we work with are monitoring the comment sections of our videos, and they're incorporating your ideas in the design. And we have seen that so many different times. So please, please, please continue to do that. Include your idea, your like, your dislike, any feedback, any comment on the comment section below, and we'll get it incorporated in the future design. I'm gonna keep pushing these vendors to incorporate your ideas into future design. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you found this video helpful, please give us a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so. Share our videos with your friends and families, because any type of engagement that you do with our videos greatly helps us rank higher in YouTube's algorithm. That means we can bring more videos like this in the future. Thank you very much. Please come back again soon.